What if reality isn't fixed? What if the universe doesn't decide what something is until you look at it? Not metaphorically, not philosophically, physically. This is not speculation. It's one of the most repeated experiments in the history of science, and its result is disturbing. For over 100 years, physicists have been performing the same simple experiment, and every time it delivers the same impossible message. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the act of observation appears to change reality itself, and why we still don't know what observation actually means. The double slit experiment begins with something ordinary, a source that fires particles, electrons, photons, single units of matter or light. In front of them, a barrier with two tiny slits. Behind the barrier, a detection screen. That's it. Nothing complex, nothing mysterious. Yet what happens next breaks our understanding of reality. When particles act like waves. If particles behaved like tiny bullets, we would expect two simple bands on the screen, one behind each slit. But that's not what happens. Instead, a wave-like interference pattern appears. Bright bands, dark gaps. The particles behave as if each one goes through both slits at once, not together, individually. And here's where things stop making sense. This happens even when particles are fired one at a time. Fire a single electron. Wait. Fire another. Wait. Each particle lands as a single point on the screen. But over time, the interference pattern still forms, as if each particle is somehow aware of both slits, as if it explores all possibilities before choosing where to appear. Physics calls this a probability wave, but that word hides the real problem. Now comes the most unsettling part. Place a detector at the slits, not to disturb the particle, not to block it, just to observe which slit it goes through. The result changes instantly. The interference pattern disappears. The particle now behaves like a particle. Reality switches behavior based on whether it is observed. What does observation mean? This is where most explanations fail. Observation does not require human eyes, conscious awareness, intention. The universe doesn't care whether someone is watching a screen. What matters is information. When information about the particle's path exists, the wave behavior collapses. Reality commits to a single outcome. This leads to one of physics's deepest mysteries, the measurement problem. Before measurement, the particle exists in multiple states at once. After measurement, only one state remains. But nowhere in the equations does physics explain how this transition occurs. The math works, the mechanism does not. Is reality undecided? The experiment suggests something radical. Reality may not be fully defined until interaction occurs, not created by observation, but finalized by it. Like a story that exists as drafts until one version is selected. Physicists have proposed many explanations. Copenhagen interpretation. Reality is probabilistic until measured. Many worlds interpretation. Every possible outcome happens in separate universes. Pilot wave theory. Particles have hidden paths we can't detect. Each interpretation works mathematically. None are provably correct. And here's the uncomfortable truth. After a century of testing, we still don't know what reality is doing when we're not looking. Does consciousness matter? Some speculate consciousness plays a role. Others strongly disagree. Experiments show that detectors alone are enough. Human awareness is not required. Yet the language refuses to disappear. Observation, measurement, collapse, words that imply choice. Why this matters? This isn't just about particles. Quantum mechanics underpins electronics, lasers, semiconductors, modern computing. Reality works this way whether we understand it or not. The universe functions on rules that feel deeply unnatural. The deeper implication. The double slit experiment tells us one thing clearly. Reality is not what it appears to be. At the deepest level, the universe behaves less like a machine and more like a system of possibilities that solidify only when interacted with. When you look at the world, you don't just observe it, you participate in it, not by thought, not by belief, but by interaction. Reality doesn't wait to be seen, but it does wait to be defined. If this experiment unsettled you, leave a comment. Do you think reality exists before observation? Like the video if this changed how you think about the universe. Subscribe because physics is stranger than fiction.